This episode is brought to you by Google Gemini. With the Gemini app, you can talk live and have a real-time conversation with an AI assistant. It's great for all kinds of things, like if you want to practice for an upcoming interview, ask for advice on things to do in a new city, or brainstorm creative ideas. And by the way, this script was actually read by Gemini. Download the Gemini app for iOS and Android today. Must be 18 plus to use Gemini Live.
This episode is brought to you by Disney's Mufasa, The Lion King. Get tickets now for the ultimate family holiday movie experience. Reunite with the characters you know and the untold story you'd never expect. Witness Mufasa's rise from orphan to king and see how the legendary villain Scar got his name. Disney's Mufasa, The Lion King, in theaters everywhere this Friday. The kingdom awaits.
Hello, hello. Welcome back to Peak Northwest, an outdoors and travel podcast by the Oregonian and Oregon Live, dedicated to the adventure and exploration of our beautiful Pacific Northwest. I'm Jamie Hale.
And I'm Vicki Connor. Together, we take you to some of the most beautiful and interesting destinations in our region, discussing where to go, what to do, and places to see. And today, we're engaging in one of our very favorite pastimes, taking a warm soak in the winter.
Sounds so relaxing, doesn't it? Makes me want to do some ASMR here on the podcast, Vicki. So today we are talking all about the best places to warm your bones around Oregon, from the wellness spas of Portland to all of those high desert hot springs. And here to help us along on our journey is one of the Oregonians' most experienced soakers and a regular guest here on the podcast, our very own Lizzie Acker. Lizzie, thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here. I love to talk about places to get warm, so thank you.
Well, it's certainly the season to do it. You know, the gray, drizzly, dreary, dark season. I don't know. We talk about this all the time in the pod. We love to just get warm, get in some hot water, maybe a sauna, just warm that body up. It feels so good.
Sauna, a steam room, a hot tub. I was just thinking yesterday, I'm not a cold plunge person. I mean, I really respect people who are, but I'm I want to get warm and then I want to stay warm.
Same.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. Vicki, what about you? Are you a cold plunge person?
If one is offered at one of these soaking places and there's kind of like a step-by-step ritual you're supposed to do, I will 12,000% do a cold plunge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like at Knot Springs, you're like, okay, I'll do it. I'm like, ooh, it's so cold. I put my toe in and I'm like, yeah.
I like to see just how long I can stay in there. And if I get up to my shoulders, I'm pretty proud of myself.
Wow. I'm amazed.
I know it's a whole thing, and that people derive a lot of great physical, emotional well-being from doing cold plunges. I hear it. I hear those words and I understand that they make sense to some people. They don't make sense to me personally.
Yeah.
So today we're not talking about cold plunges. I'm
we're
sure
not.
There's a lot of cold plunges
Sorry to bring it up.
at all of these places. But we're talking about places to go soak specifically, where there may be saunas as well or other things. And there's, as it turns out, kind of a lot of them. As I was scripting this, I kind of regretted not breaking this into several episodes by
a whole
region.
series. Yeah, you absolutely could. There's so many.
So we're kind of just breeze through a bunch of these, and treat this sort of like an overview of the soaking options around Oregon. And we're gonna, I think, maybe start in Portland and work our way out into the state. How does that sound to everybody?
Sounds amazing.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, so here we are in Portland, and Lizzie, you are the expert in Portland soaking pools.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
My understanding from soaking in Portland is you have, you've got Common Ground, you've got Everett House, and you have the bougie places.
Right. Well, I mean, I think there's a couple in between. Well, I guess we're going just only soaking. We can skip the just sauna places because there's a few just sauna places that are also affordable and then more expensive depending on what you're looking for. But we're going just soaking. I think Common Ground and Everett House are your, to me, those places are this may be shocking. I like them more than Knot Springs. I would always pick them over Knot Springs. Even though, Knot Springs is a lot more expensive. It is, as Jamie points out, bougier. You're going to get a Pendleton towel to use, sandals, hot tea. They have on tap sparkling water and regular water and like different temperatures of water, I believe. Different teas. It's also, I mean, it can run you, I think, close to like $80 or maybe even $100. It depends on when you go. They have different prices for different times. So for like an hour and a half, it can be a lot more than Everett House or Common Ground, which is closer to like $15 for an hour or so.
You can bring your own Pendleton towel to Common Ground. You can bring your own tea. I feel like that's personally the way to go. If you want your all exclusive sauna experience, then sure, Knot Springs is a spot to do it. But I feel like Common Ground and Everett House are for the people.
They're for the people. And there's also another major difference, which you have to be aware of, which is people are naked at Common Ground and Everett House, which I actually like. I mean, I think it's, first of all, just more pleasant to be naked in a hot tub or sauna, especially a sauna or steam room. Like a swimming suit in a steam room is, ugh. I have to say that I'm totally blind without my glasses. So as soon as I take them off, I can't see anybody. So I just assume nobody can see me and I don't feel like self-conscious. I also think there's something, at Everett House. At Knot Springs, I feel like there's lots of like really fancy people and they look really good in swimsuits, and there's just like normal people at Everett House that just look normal. And I kind of think everyone looks a little weird naked. So I don't know. I just think there's something that sort of puts everyone on the same plane when you're naked. You don't have to be naked at Everett House. Everett House is my top choice. I also like Common Ground. They're similar. Everett House also has a steam room, which I really like, and 2 saunas. Common Ground has, I believe, a sauna, but not a steam room.
Correct. Yeah. Common Ground has the bigger communal pool. That's sort of their main thing.
Yeah. And there's also some new, at least one new option. Cascada is what it's called. This is definitely in the bougie category. They just opened on Alberta. It's like this hotel, restaurant, wellness spa concept. It's going to be $100 for 3 hours. I haven't gone yet, so I cannot tell you what the pools are like. I'm going to be going in January, so stay tuned.
This one might be the bougiest. I have not soaked there, but I went to a preview and got a tour of the space and everything. And
the space is awesome.
In my opinion, this is a few steps up from Knot Springs.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, I mean, I also got a tour of the space a couple weeks ago, so it's probably even nicer now. But there's like an open pool in the solarium, and then underground is multiple springs. Springs in quotation marks, obviously they are pools. But it looks very nice. The water is like all filtered, and the guy when I went told me like there's less chlorine in this water than there is in your drinking water. It's like Bull Run water that's filtered in extra special ways. So it is also $100 for 3 hours. So that, that removes some people from coming there and experiencing it. I also think, when Knot Springs has been open for a while, so it doesn't have that sheen of newness anymore. I think it sort of remains to be seen for me, like in 2 years, is Cascada or Knot Springs the fancier place to go? I think Vicky's right, though. I think that Cascada is going to be the fancier place.
Man, how do I get a tour of this place? Everyone's getting tours of this place.
Well, Jamie, you didn't hear about it?
It's our job. I don't know if you know what we do for a living, Jamie.
Well,
I'm going to test it out, and as a soaker, paying the Oregonian is going to pay the $100. So, we'll see how it really is then.
You let me know when you're going, Lizzie. I'm just going to join in.
Yeah, okay.
Well, let's move out from Portland a little bit and head out into the Gorge. Now, I don't know a lot of soaking places in the Gorge. This might be a quick tour. The one I do know about is the Society Hotel in Bingen, over on the Washington side of the Gorge. I've not been there. Have either of you two been to the Society?
I haven't been there, and I really want to go, but I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, this one's been on my list as well.
Also, I'm pretty sure you can go there. You don't have to be staying at the hotel to use the pools, which is cool. Unlike Skamania Lodge. Have you been to Skamania?
I've not stayed at Skamania. I've toured Skamania. Now, that's a place I've toured a couple of times. Not the pools, of course, but I don't know a lot about their soaking there.
They have a pool. Yeah, it's a very cool, like, hot indoor-outdoor pool situation. I've only stayed there once. The pool was really nice and it was super packed. But you also have to be staying there to use it. So that's one thing about the Society Hotel that seems cool.
It looks like a very beautiful bathhouse. It's a good location. They've got like other spa services there. So if you want to do, other spa stuff, get a facial or, a massage, I assume, you can get that kind of stuff there. It looks gorgeous, and I can really imagine going on a gray, rainy day. They've got like these big skylights and there's like beautiful, like, it's just a beautiful space. So I'm really dying to go there, honestly. One of these days we'll have to make it happen. Well, let's get out of the Gorge and let's head up on Mount Hood. I think this is a spot that we've talked about before. Well, let's just
because it's lacking a little bit in the.
Yeah, we don't need to harp necessarily.
We've harped on several episodes in like the past weeks.
Well, it seems like it would be a great place. I am a huge fan of Timberline and the pool at Timberline, and the Timberline also has a sauna. Again, you have to be staying there. But it is a beautiful pool, recently redone. I haven't been to the redone, the redone version, but I love Timberline. It's a great location. The food, I think, it could be better. Anyway, whatever.
It's true. It's true.
But yeah, there does need to be more options. There's a condo place up there that I went to like 10 years ago that has a pool. It's like an outdoor pool. It's not bad, but I don't even remember what it's called.
If you've got a friend with a cabin on Mount Hood and your friend has a hot tub,
that's kind of what you have to have. Yeah.
That seems to be the move.
Yeah. Which is hard,
Yeah.
Not everyone has that. So.
Whenever I stay up there, I like anywhere on Mount Hood, I'm usually like getting an Airbnb, and it's nice that you have the choice to like only look through ones that have a hot tub included, because that is what I'm looking for when I'm going.
Exactly. Yeah, it's shocking to me that you wouldn't like have any kind of hot tub. Like, I'm not staying at your Airbnb if there's no hot tub, unless it's a dire situation.
Of course, just off the slopes of Mount Hood, if we're going east a little bit, we've got Kanita.
Awesome.
Brand newly renovated soaking pools. Have either of you been out to Kanita yet?
I have, yeah. Actually, Jamie, it's so funny because I think the day you went, the day it opened, I don't think you got in the pools. No. But I was on vacation in Sun River at the time, and I went the day after it opened and got in. And it was, even though it was hot that day, it was awesome. The pools are big, and there's like different temperatures. There's the lazy river was super fun. I think it would be a great place to go in the winter. I have never driven those roads in the winter, so it's a little like windy roady, mountainy sort of situation. But the pools were super awesome. And did you notice, one thing I loved as a former lifeguard, there are lifeguards everywhere. And they were like They were, I know it was the second day they opened. Maybe they won't be as intense, but I loved it. They were actually like enforcing rules, which warms my little rule-abiding heart. Water safety is crucial, guys.
It is.
Okay, remind me. I know we've talked about this place before. For the soaking area, are these the tubs that kind of overlook the river?
There are some tubs there. You can get a private tub that overlooks the river, and these little like cabanas they have up on they're kind of like up on the riverbanks a bit higher.
Those
and
have
then
tubs
there's
in
like
them?
these, yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And then there's the sort of the big main pools down below that. Like that's the main area. And there's like the hot pool. There's like a slightly less hot one. And then there's the lazy river. People can kind of circulate through. So, and there's also a splash pad for kids. So this
when we
used
were
to
there,
be,
the splash pad was freezing, but again, it was like August or something.
yeah. Oh yeah. That's the thing. I mean, it's
Yeah.
open year round and it's exposed. So when it's hot, it's hot.
Yeah.
But then the pool is maybe a little bit cooler than 100 degrees, and maybe that's nice. I don't know. But I love this as a place for this time of year to go out there. It's like not peak vacation season, at least not here. And so maybe it's a little less crowded, and it's a great time to go out and soak. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you just have to kind of get over the mountain, as you said,
Yeah.
to get out there. But I'm really curious how their first winter goes here, but
Yeah.
I think it's just a great idea.
I just loved the gradations of the pool temperature. Like there's a massive pool that is warm, like on the warm side of tepid, I would say. And even in August, it felt great. And that pool kids can go in. It's pretty warm. And then there's also pretty big, hotter and hot, like even hotter pools that are not for kids. But yeah, I would love to go back there when it's cold out.
Kanita. Wow. So we've kind of covered sort of the Portland Gorge Hood area, but there are, as we kind of go south into the Cascade Mountains, there are of course so many places to soak in the mountains. I think the first one we should talk about, and we've talked about it at length here in the podcast, so we don't necessarily need to spend so much time on it, but is Brighton Bush Hot Springs.
Yeah.
We love Brighton Bush. A great place to stay if you're, if you can day trip to Brighton Bush certainly, but it's like it has that sort of like a bit more of a crunchy retreat, communal retreat vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big
I've never been to
vegetarian
Brighton Bush. This is
lunches.
a very sad like truth about my life, and
Lizzie.
I am not only that, I've like grew up in Oregon. You know what I mean? I'm I was born in Eugene, so crunchy is like where I come from. But yeah, I don't know.
You need to book a trip to Brighton Bush as soon as we're done here.
You're probably right. I mean, you are right.
Oh my gosh.
Do they allow 5-year-olds? That's the problem.
They do. Lizzie,
what? Okay.
I don't know if this is, I don't know if like, yeah, would be weird for you because, obviously at Brighton Bush, everyone is also naked.
Oh, no.
But
I actually am so supportive of that.
Okay. Yeah. When I went, the one and only time that I went, I saw at least like one kid with his parents there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've definitely seen kids there.
To other hot springs, like as a kid, naked with my family. So
yeah.
It is family friendly.
Yeah.
It is like all inclusive, and not in a fancy way, but like in a way that like you can just. I mean, what I like is spending 2 nights there to get a full day of just you soak, you wake up, soak in the morning. They ring a bell for breakfast. You go eat breakfast. You soak again. They ring a bell for lunch. You soak again. They ring a bell for dinner. You soak again. You know what I mean? And you can
that
just
sounds awesome.
Fall into the state of relaxation.
Actually,
We're
looking for a state of relaxation.
There's a lot of space to run around.
I just think that being naked is it's actually good for kids, and like just seeing normal human bodies, because otherwise, I don't know, we just don't see people naked that often. So I don't know. I think being around normal human bodies makes it easier to be a person later when you're like, oh yes, my body is not perfect. Like, It's not airbrushed. This is just what it looks like.
Definitely.
Anyway.
I agree.
Well, we said we wouldn't we said we wouldn't spend too much time on Brighton Bush, so we'll move on. The Cascade Mountains, I think when people think about soaking in the Cascade Mountains, they think about, a few spots in particular. These are kind of your hike-in natural soaking pool areas that have maybe a history of being a little grungy, but maybe are turning around. I haven't had a lot of experience at these, so I don't know what their current status is, but we're talking about spots like Bagby Hot Springs, Umpqua Hot Springs, Terwilliger, McCready.
Yeah.
These are like all of these like U.S. Forest Service sites that are like now, some of them I guess are privately managed. Lizzie, what do you know about these places?
Well, it's been a very long time since I've been to any of them. I've been to Bagby long, long ago as a youth in Oregon, and also Terwilliger, I think. Is that Cougar?
Yes.
Terwilliger? Yes. Those are places I went as a kid. And they're different. They just have, you're right. Like it's hard to say. I can't tell you what they're like now. And I feel like any hike-in place is definitely a go at your own risk. Like, be prepared for anything. I mean, you don't know who you're going to meet out there. I feel like Bagby is a place I went more like when I was in high school with other people that age. So take that as a warning. No offense to people of that age, but maybe not the relaxing experience you're looking for. And I think I went to Terwilliger with my dad. We used to go backpacking when I was probably like middle school, high school. So, you just don't know who you're going to see out there in the woods in Oregon. Could be anyone.
I tried going to Umpqua Hot Springs over the summer. Unfortunately, there was like some wildfire happening, and so it was closed down. But, in doing my research leading up to it, I feel like at one point in time, I'm sure years ago, it was like really pristine. And now, reading some of the reviews, either on All Trails or wherever, there are mixed reviews. One, of course, a lot of these places can get pretty crowded.
Yeah.
And two, not everyone respects the land, and sometimes
Right.
there ends up being trash or worse.
Right. Yeah. People can really like it's crazy because I would say the three of us have I'm assuming, leave no trace sort of ethical belief, but a lot of people don't feel that way, and they just leave all kinds of things, and it could literally be dangerous. Like, there could be glass, or worse, and there could be people experimenting with drugs. You just have to be careful.
My understanding is that the Forest Service is aware of this and has been over the last 5, 6, 7 years, making an effort at least some of these places to turn things around. So I do know that there's places where you might pay a $10 soaking fee,
Okay.
like at Terwilliger, right? You got to pay a fee now, and
okay.
I think they have people on site. So but it's not the same as you're booking a spot at, this soaking pool where you know that there's only going to be so many people,
right?
And that there's a bunch of bathrooms on hand, and that people are not as cavalier with privately owned places as they are with public lands, which is kind of crazy, but that's I think often the case. And no one's going to be bringing their dog into the pool at a society.
At Everett House. Yeah.
Right. So I typically for me, I don't go to these places very often, or I haven't gone to these places really at all because of this. I do want to go and check it out because I feel like I can't keep talking about these places without having more experience. So I don't want to write them off completely. I've talked to people who have
them can be so
great
cool,
experiences.
Yeah. And I have good memories of going to them when I was younger. And obviously, I'm old now, so lots of things have changed in the last 30 years. I think people, because of the internet too, people are more aware of these places. So there's going to be more people going to them.
Exactly.
Like I just needed my dad, who has extensive backcountry knowledge, to get us there.
Well, let's keep going out into Oregon, out into the high desert. And this is one of my like low-key favorite places to go soaking, because there are like so many places to soak in Eastern Oregon. And that's a pretty broad region.
It's huge. It's a very large region.
It's 2/3 of the state.
There's not many people there, but there's a lot of space.
In the interest of time, we're going to call this the Eastern Oregon section. And there's a few places that come to mind for me. I'm curious if these same few places come up for y'all. But the first spot I think of is Crane Hot Springs in Burns, just outside of Burns. I love Crane. You can stay the night. They have a really big, like outdoor kind of natural soaking pool. That's I remember like waking up at sunrise and soaking in this pool and seeing the sun come up over the desert. And it was incredible. Beautiful stargazing out there too. It's just like, I think if you're out in Burns, that's the
interesting thing
to
choose to do. Yeah.
People do.
I know.
It's really, really, it's a beautiful spot. I am obsessed with Crane. We stayed in, they have like various like lodgings. They have like I think we stayed in like a teepee they made there. And in the teepee were 2 queen beds and a private soaking pool with like a hot water tap. And it sounds super upscale, and it was really nice, but it wasn't that expensive also. So awesome. Crane Hot Springs is a big recommendation for me.
Have you been to Heart Mountain?
Yes.
Have you been to hot springs there?
I meant to, but circumstances at Heart Mountain prevented me from doing that.
Oh yeah. I'm just looking it up right now because I was like, oh, I went there, of course, again, this was more recently, but still years ago. And it looks like it's temporarily closed right now due to a fire, but hopefully it'll be open. So it's not open right now, but maybe in the summer. But yeah, Heart Mountain Hot Springs is pretty cool. I mean, it's beautiful out there.
It's like a campsite way out there. This is like a desert peak. And in the campground, there's like this sort of structure, this sort of concrete structure in which there's hot spring water. Yeah. It's very cool. It has similar vibes of like, you never know who you're going to meet out there.
Totally.
Could be great. Could be, weird. But
it's really out there. I mean,
it's really out there.
But I think that goes, you can say that for anything in Eastern Oregon it's really out there.
It's true.
It's far away. We are not in Portland. Make sure your tank is full if you have a gas powered car.
Exactly. When driving through Burns, my mantra is always get gas in Burns. If you're in Burns, doesn't matter how much gas you have, fill your tank.
Yeah. Now I have an EV that goes like almost 200 miles, and I'm like, I wonder, you can plug it into anything. They have electrical outlets out there somewhere.
Some places do.
Yeah, some places they do have electricity.
Other spots out there, Summer Lake Hot Springs.
Ooh, I've never been to Summer Lake, but my parents are obsessed with that place.
That's been like near the top of my list for a couple of years. I just haven't made it out there. This is just kind of due east of Crater Lake. It's right on this sort of shallow alkali lake called Summer Lake. And then there's these hot springs there just right off of the highway, small highway, not like, an interstate or anything. And it just looks beautiful. Great place to sort of stay. A lot of outdoor soaking pools. There's like this big sort of indoor pool as well. And this is like one of the best places to do stargazing in Oregon. I think this is technically within the like dark sky sanctuary that is now designated there. So like if you want to see the Milky Way or meteor showers or comets or whatever, and soak at the same time. Like, I mean, come on.
Amazing.
See the
I think,
stars
did Samantha
reflected in the
Swindler go
water.
out there?
I believe
I
she
think
did.
we had a story about it because,
Mhm.
I want to go out there so badly. But it's a ways.
It looks incredible.
Yeah.
And
Only heard good things.
The third spot that I kind of had seen mentioned, and again, not one that I've been to, but that I know that Sam Swindler has been to, our colleague here at the Oregonian, is the lodge at Hot Lake Springs.
Ooh, sounds amazing.
Do we know?
Know nothing about it.
It is. It's outside of LeGrand, so it's just kind of just south of LeGrand off 84. It's sort of like a bigger, like kind of that area has these sort of more opulent construction because it's like it was like Gold Rush era stuff, and there's sort of these bigger buildings. It looks kind of like that. It reminds me of sort of that era of like sort of big building, like some fancier rooms, but like also just a bunch of like soaking pools. It looks great.
I definitely have driven past this and been like, what is that?
Yeah. So the lodge at Hot Lake Springs, it seems like a great spot to go, especially if you're going to be out there. If you're doing like a big road trip and you're using 84 and you want to stop around LeGrand, which is a great place to stop, why not stop at the lodge at Hot Lake Springs?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Why not?
Exactly.
Have we talked about Bend at all? Did we talk about,
we have not talked about Bend. Okay. What did you want to talk about Bend?
Oh, well, I mean, it's not like the most exciting, but I know we talked about Old St. Francis
School.
Yeah.
Which the McMenamins property.
Place to go. The McMenamins. McMenamins, we didn't even talk about the ones in the Portland area. And I do feel like they deserve a mention. You can go to Old St. Francis without staying at the hotel, and you can go to the Kennedy School without staying at the hotel. The other McMenamins properties, I think, in the area of Portland, like, Crystal Springs, which is a hotel, you have to go stay overnight. But I love it. It's a sweet little spot.
Yeah, McMenamins has soaking pools at 6 of their properties, it looks like.
Amazing.
So like you said, Kennedy School, Crystal Hotel, Old St. Francis School in Bend, Grand Lodge in Forest Grove, Edgefield and Troutdale. I love the one at Old St. Francis School in Bend. It reminds me of the Room of Requirement from Harry Potter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Harry Potter reader, but it does have a vibe for sure.
Vicky, you've been there, haven't you?
I have not. I've been to the Kennedy School a few times in Portland. I think that's like best bang for your buck. That's
actually, you didn't even talk about it, but it really is.
It's really peaceful. Kennedy, I mean, it's kid friendly, so sometimes the kids are really enjoying the pool. But
that's what I would say. It's a kid pool. I mean, that before I had a kid, I would be like, "Wow, there's a lot of kids here." And now that I have a kid, I'm like, "Yay, there's a lot of kids here." It doesn't matter that mine is. I
haven't minded it whatsoever. And this is also one that's outside, and like there have been days that I've been at that one and it's like started to drizzle, but it's still so nice even when it's raining. And you can grab
try going when it's snowing.
Oh my
gosh, amazing. So good if you can get in.
You could also grab a drink from the bar and you're able to bring that in as well.
And you can I highly recommend now. You can make reservations in advance. It used to be you have to go to the Kennedy School and you're like, maybe I'll get in, maybe I won't. It's full. It's not. Now you make a reservation a week or more in advance and you just get to go in. And it's so great.
It used to be like call only for reservations, and now they have a whole online portal, and it's so
the call
easy.
Thing was so awful. You're calling a hotel front desk. So it's like half the time it's busy. It's just like you have to call and call and call. Oh, the olden days. And you know what? Same with Everett House. You used to have to just basically wait. They didn't have reservations at all, and now you can make reservation online, or you can call. And highly recommend.
That's the way.
Yeah.
Also, are we sleeping on the soaking pool at Edgefield?
You can only go there if you are staying there, or if you get a treatment at the spa.
Timberline. Gosh.
Yeah, you could get a treatment at the Ruby Spa there and go. I like it. And yeah, I don't like it as much as Kennedy School
Okay.
or Old St. Francis. To be fair, the time I went, the pool just wasn't as warm as I wanted it to be. And I think temperature is really important.
Yeah, that's unforgivable.
Yeah, it really
to be
is.
dramatic.
No, like I don't want to be in a cold pool that's supposed to be warm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and also the one in Forest Grove, Grand Lodge, they have a nice pool. But it's, again, the Kennedy School is outside, but it's just the way it's located in the middle of the building. It's just got such a nice atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a great spot.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to the last region on my list here. Ashland, a place I've not done much soaking, but obviously Ashland is famous for its Lithia water, its healing properties. There's a couple spots in town that I clocked. The Lithia Springs Resort, where they say every room has a soaking pool, which is pretty great. But also this place that I really want to check out, the Chozu Bath and Tea Gardens. Have either of you heard of the Chozu Bath and Tea Gardens?
No.
I haven't. I once tried to go to that Lithia place, but it was a long time ago and I was a broke child, so I didn't go.
Yeah,
but there's lots of nice water around there. You know, there's like beautiful streams and stuff. No, tell us about the Chozu Bath.
It looks great. It's self-describes as Ashland's hidden oasis of tranquility. It looks just like somebody's backyard, but it looks like it's sort of a little garden. It's got soak, steam, sauna, cold plunge. There's this sort of bath gardens, this community pool, and there's also a private pool that I'm assuming you can book for more money. It's like $30 a person to go to the community pool. It looks great. Really nice. Small, but just like a really good vibe. So if you're in Ashland, take advantage of the soaking culture there and go to one of these spots.
Amazing. We haven't also talked about, sorry, the state of Oregon is massive. We haven't talked about the coast.
Okay.
But
what do you know about soaking on the coast, Lizzie?
Well, I guess the places that I'm thinking of, okay, I get like the mountain. I think there should be more on the coast. But
definitely.
Have you heard of this Snow Peak campground spot?
Sure. Technically in Washington.
In Washington. I was going to say, okay, it's in Washington.
Yes.
I have not been, but I've also heard really good things about that.
It's very sort of hip. It's very hard to get into. Okay. I know the reservations are like booked out for like, you got to like know the like 9 months in advance. Right. I know because I'm trying to book a spot there for next year.
Okay.
Snow Peak does look very cool though. It's over in Long Beach, just across from Astoria. It looks like a really cool spot. I will say, as long as we're talking about the coast, there is the soaking pool at the Salishan Spa, which is fancy. And I did it once when I was like gifted a massage there, and like waiting for the massage, I was like in the pool, and the pool like overlooks the estuary there. So it's not an ocean view, but it's still a really great view. And it's kind of got like an infinity pool edge. It's really a gorgeous little soaking pool, but I don't think you can just kind of book that. I think it's sort of like, well, maybe you can. Seems like there's like other, like you can get a spa pass to go there. I'm not sure exactly what the deal is, but Salishan Spa is a good place to go soak out on the coast also.
That's awesome. And it's not a soaking pool, but the Southwester is also in Washington, and they have a great sauna. So
also in Long Beach.
Yeah. So maybe like a tour of the Long Beach wellness spa situation.
I will say my favorite place to soak on the coast is at a hotel called the Channel House in Depot Bay.
Ooh, I've heard of it. Yes.
They have the hot tubs on the balconies overlooking the ocean, like really right on the ocean, because it's that rocky shoreline.
Yeah.
And it is pricey, but it is amazing. I sat in a hot tub and watched a whale breach in the ocean.
Stop.
Like,
oh my God.
And it was like, I slipped in and like minutes later that happened. I was like, well, I guess this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. So
well, this is it. My life's a movie. Unbelievable. I have to say again, like the mountain, you gotta get an Airbnb with a hot tub or a hotel with a hot tub when you're at the coast.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that kind of rounds up the list here. Lizzie, Vicky,
can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Before we go, because
I was going to say, what are we missing?
Yeah, there's this, and this, this is even further into Washington. So, and it's also only for women. So sorry, Jamie, but they're probably one of my most top spa experiences in the Pacific Northwest is the Olympus Spa in Tacoma, and it's a Korean spa. You very unassuming, building. Actually, they have 2 locations. I've only been to the one in Tacoma, but the other one's even further away. So part of me believes there's got to be a way to get there on the train, but it is sort of in the middle of urban Tacoma, so it would be like a train bus situation. You go the whole day. It's women only. They have pools of different temperatures. Actually, this is the only place I went into a cold plunge and was like, yes, this was good. So it's like pools of different temperatures, sort of like Knot Springs or Kanita, or I think Cascada. And you can get a really cool treatment. They have amazing food. You can spend the whole day there. Highly recommend.
Lizzie,
and I really wish that we could get a Korean spa in closer.
I've been wanting to go to Korean spa so badly.
Well, we should probably go. Should we write a story about this?
Yeah, we should.
Seems like we have to write about this for the Oregon.
Let's take the train.
Oh my
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. In January, we'll be like, we've got a pitch.
Oh my gosh. Well, Lizzie, thank you so much for coming on and talking all about soaking pools. A lot of good ideas. Obviously we love to soak here, at least among the 3 of us, but folks, go do it. If you're feeling, a little chilly or a little down, nothing like a warm soak to heat you up and make you feel better.
Highly recommend.
Well, Lizzie, thanks again for coming on.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, until next time, you can watch our videos on the Oregonians YouTube channel and view all of our travel and outdoors coverage on OregonLive.com/travel, as well as HereIsOregon.com.
Please leave us a rating or review if you enjoy the show. And if you want to support this podcast, as well as our local journalism, please consider a subscription to Oregon Live. You can find details at OregonLive.com/pod support. Also, if you're a fan of the show and you're interested in potentially sponsoring it, you can get in touch with our marketing people at advertise@oregonian.com. This episode of the show was produced by me, Vicki Connor, alongside Jamie Hale.
Stay safe and happy travels, everyone. Until next time, we leave you with this 10 seconds of Zen.